This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob, and I wanted to talk something that has bothered me for a while, and I wanted to talk about it. And we're right in that season. Origins is coming up real quick, and the Origins has their Origins Award, or whatever you want to call it, and Gamma, and which is a joke anyways. I've spoken to designers who say, what does it do? What's the purpose of it? Okay, I'm not a part of it. I don't care. I wouldn't want to be a part of it. But the Hall of Fame is something that I really consider, to be something very serious. And the reason I'm making this video, and this isn't some kind of clickbait thing. This is really how I feel, and I think a lot of people feel, is that if you have a Hall of Fame, people always debate on who should be in and who should be out. Now, I don't think any of these people should not be in here, but I just can't see how some of them can be in there and not have the Dice Tower, Tom Vasel, and Richard Launius. And I'll break each one of them down and tell you what my thoughts are. Because I did research this. And if June goes by and they induct people into Hall of Fame, and Tom or the Dice Tower isn't in there, or even Richard Launius is in there, I think it's a travesty. I really do. Because a lot of this just doesn't make any kind of sense to me. When you talk about people deserving to be in there, one of the criterias they say, especially for media, is that you have to be 10 years. Okay? Well, Tom's been doing this since 2002. He started writing the Dice Tower, okay? And then when YouTube came along, 2008, guess what? He's been making videos since then, okay? And here it is, 2023. And yet, one of the most prominent channels, one of the most prominent people in board gaming is not in board gaming. Board gaming, everybody wants to say Will Wheaton, okay? And his Tabletop show was what ushered in the golden age of board gaming. I don't believe that to be true. I think the real person that did this, okay, is Tom Vasel and the Dice Tower. Now why is this? Let me tell you something. When YouTube came along, okay, he was the forefather of it, okay, as far as board gaming is concerned. Okay, a lot of people have come, a lot of people have gone. All right, and when you really look at the body of work that Tom has put in, okay, how he has affected the market at times, how he has affected how people view board gaming, his channel, family friendly. As family friendly as can be, but there's something there for everybody. It's safe for little ones, but there's also, there's always been some of those heavy American games and Euro games. It was a little bit of everything. And you look at his awards have always been fair and just. It's been based on what he likes, what the Dice Tower and his collective crew have always given you the best. Tom has been through all the changes that possibly could be, and the one consistent is Tom. The Dice Tower, you just talk their conventions alone as they grow and continue to grow. I remember when it was only 300 people. It was only 300 people. Now look at it. It's sold. Dice Tower East is already sold out. Okay? And it'll just get bigger. It will get bigger. Because Tom has vision. The Dice Tower Essentials. Have you ever played a bad Dice Tower Essential game? I haven't. He takes pride in knowing games. I know for a fact for a while there, for a year, I think it was a year and a half, almost 2 years, I was part of it, and I was driving down there every month to film things. And I would go in there at 7 o'clock, and there's Tom, learning rules for another game. And just taking a look at different rules and being able to name 7 different games that use that mechanic. An incredible knowledge, wealth of knowledge. He knew what he was talking about. How is this man not in the Hall of Fame? How is the Dice Tower? How can we put Board Game Geek in there, okay? The website, a resource, okay? And not put the Dice Tower in, okay? Probably one of the greatest resources. Because when you think about it, when people go look at a game, okay, they don't go, well, what did Will Wheaton think about it? Not that there's any problem with Will Wheaton, please. Don't get me wrong, okay? But how do you how do you not look at 22,000 videos, okay, done by his collective group, which has been ingenious. Bring different people in to review, get their opinion on different games. But ultimately, look at all the videos that Tom did, all the reviews that Tom did. Remember, it was just Tom to begin with. And Sam. And Z, who's still there. It was the big 3 for a while. But when Sam left, all you heard was screaming that, well, that's it for the Dice Tower. You broke up the 3 Musketeers. Tom evolves. As times change, so does Tom. So does the Dice Tower. And he has a vision, and it has been good for everyone. His reviews, people go and look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. And he's always been very, 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 very smart and very knowledgeable. And the forefront of what is gaming today is the Dice Tower. Okay? Yeah, you could say this site, you can say that site, you can say this, you can say that. Hey, believe me, when Rodney's been in here according to these criterias long enough, I'll be screaming that he needs to be in for what he's done. How he's made it easier for people to teach and learn games. But right now, the Dice Tower and Tom Vasel should have been in there. I mean, I'm looking at this list of people, and they're all deserving in their own way. Okay, but I mean, the certain magazines here that have made it in here. Okay, because we're going to talk about the Dice Tower. Let's talk about it. There are wargaming design artists. Made it in here. Fire and Movement, the magazine, it's in here. The General, the magazine, it's in here. Board Game Geek. I'm not saying Board Game Geek doesn't deserve to be in there, but I think the Dice Tower deserved to be there first. I'll be honest with you. I think what Tom has done for this industry, okay, by taking, I've been there when the Mountain of Games come in, okay, and people wanting him to showcase the games. I've been there when he's considered games for Board Games Essentials, okay. I've been there. I've watched how people have shown him things, and within 15 minutes he knows how that's going to turn out. I've been there. I've seen it. And how this man is not in the Hall of Fame, let alone his company, which, you think about the Dice Tower. Okay, when you think about board gaming and you look at a game and you're in a Target or something, in a Target no less, and it gets the Dice Tower seal of approval, that is almost like, like the Good Housekeeping Award. Boom. You get that stamp on there. It means something. It should be in the Hall of Fame. The Dice Tower should be there. Dragon Magazine. Does it still exist? Yeah. It's been inducted. Why isn't the Dice Tower? Berg's Review of Games. All right, Richard Berg, genius, belongs in there. But why isn't the Dice Tower? We said BoardGameGeek.com. Okay, why isn't in there? The Courier, Another great magazine. Does it even still exist? Is it even relevant? I believe it's still around. Why isn't the Dice Tower in there? Okay. And I keep on going down. Fire and Movement. Okay. Another great magazine. Strategy and Tactics. Still around today. Okay. Not as relevant as the Dice Tower. If these are in there, and believe me, they belong in there. All of these belong in there. Okay. I'm looking at some of the games here. That belong in here. Get it. I get it. I get it. They all belong in there. They all have their place. But so does the Dice Tower. And if the Dice Tower isn't in there this year, it's a travesty. If Tom isn't in there, how could we have artists from D&D Dark Sun in there and not have Tom Vasel in there? Okay? All right? Writers for Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, great. They belong in there. Okay? Mike Elliott's in there. He's done a fantastic job. We'll get to him soon when we talk about Richard Launius, because how could Richard Launius not be in this Hall of Fame? And if he's not in there this year, why? Who is better than these three things that I'm talking about right now? And why aren't they in there? There's a lot of people that deserve, but the Dice Tower and Tom Vasel deserve to be in there, folks. And they should be put in there right now. A sculptor made it in. Why isn't Tom Vasel? Why isn't Richard Launius in there? Richard Launius, okay? So you want to talk about games, okay? And what they do is, game designers, you have to have a career in here for 20 years, okay? Let's take a look at this list. And I forgive you for not looking at the camera. Forgive me for not looking at the camera. But we're going to go down some of these people because they all deserve to be in here. But, when you think about Richard Launius, who in 1987 came out with his first version. He started designing games when he was 9. Of course, they were unpublished. But the first Arkham Horror was 1987. And look what it's done today. Okay? And yet he's not in the Hall of Fame. Why is that? Okay? Some great, great people are in here. Eric Lang, okay? How long has he been doing it? Chaos in the Old World, Rising Sun, Blood Rage, Cthulhu Death May Die. Okay, he was inducted in 2018. Why wasn't Richard Launius, Defender of the Realm? Okay? Arkham Horror, 2 editions of that. Of course, the 3rd edition, they took and they ran with. Elder Scrolls, and everything he's done with there. We look at some of these. Alan Moon. What has he done? Well, founder of Gathering of Friends. That's a great little get together for those that are invited to go there. Okay. And Ticket to Ride. So if you want to say, well, I only feel that Richard only had the one good game. Well, so did Alan. But different variations of it, different tracks and all these different things. Ticket to Ride is a great game. Alan Moon deserves there. Does he deserve to be on a stage at times? I don't know. I was there when he was telling some really strange jokes with a bunch of kids there. That was weird. But does he deserve to be there? Absolutely. But so does Richard Launius. So does Tom Vasel for his contributions. Okay? Founder of Gathering of Friends. What about the Dice Tower West now and East? All right? And I'm sure there's going to be another one if Tom has it his way. A couple of the biggest conventions. And they survived. They survived COVID. Amazing. The resiliency. Klaus Tuber, Bruno Catalia, all worthy people. Larry Bond, Harpoon, great game. Okay? Fantastic. John Korvalik, Munchkin and Dark Tower. That's lasted forever. He was a writer and illustrator for it. Okay? It was inducted in 2002. Why isn't Richard Launius? Okay? Why are we waiting so long to put him in there. Sandy Peterson, 1990, RPG, board game designer. How's his company doing right now? Okay. How's all those Kickstarters that haven't been fulfilled doing right now? Charles Robert, all right, father of the modern board wargaming, definitely deserves to be in there. Okay, this is one guy that way over. Gary Gygax deserves to be in there. Okay, absolutely over these guys. But you can't tell me since 1980 and 1982, okay, you know, this has been going on since 75. Shashida Nakamura, who did Card Fight Vanguard, Fairy Tale, okay, trading card and board game designer. Unfortunately, he's passed away. But you can't tell me that he is not on the same level as a Richard Launius. All right, and yet he's not in there. Louis Rosenberg is in there. Feast of Auden, Agricola. One of the first games I ever played at a Dice Tower Con was Agricola. Some people asked me to sit down. Vlad, you know, a lot of people, but a lot of people in here have done some things, but not as big as some of these big designers. And it goes to show you that, again, Hall of Fames are really weird. Whether it's, you know, how many things go on with baseball Hall of Fames. But when baseball and football Hall of Fames, where people argue over who should be in there. And this is just another situation. But, you know, some of the stuff that is in here and some of the people that are in here, I just kind of question over some of the people that should be in there. And with the way that everything that Gamma and the Hall of Fame has done things as of late, you know, it really makes you kind of wonder, you know, what's the future for it? Is it a dying thing? Well, then give it to the Dice Tower. If anybody would know how to conduct a Hall of Fame, it'd be Tom Vasel. And would he deserve to be in this Hall of Fame? Probably. He wouldn't put himself in there, but he have a committee, a smart committee, just like he does with his awards. That's why his awards mean something. Michael Pondsmith, Cyberpunk, Castle Falkenstein, Teenagers from Outer Space. Yeah, I see that on the shelves at Target all the time. And I'm not trying to downgrade some of these people, but you cannot tell me that a majority of these people that have been put in here in the recent years outweigh Tom Vasel, the Dice Tower, and Richard Launius. I don't think so, folks. I don't see it that way. Look at everything that Tom has done for board gamers in general. You know, the Jack Vasel Foundation. How much money has that raised? Do you realize the imprint that the Dice Tower and Tom Vasel has on gaming? Even now, even on YouTube. Look at all the people that have been there. Sam Healy, he's gone now, start off his own thing. Game Boy Geek, Dan, started on the Dice Tower, went off, does his own thing, okay? Chaz was on the Dice Tower for a very, very long time. Went off, doing stuff with Rodney, doing great stuff with Rodney, okay? All right? All these people got their start. Suzanne, Mandy, okay, Liz. I can go on and on. All these people. It's almost like that Kevin Bacon game. You talk about something or a site or a game or something, it leads back to Tom Vasel. How is this man not in the Hall of Fame? And how is his channel, The Dice Tower, his website, The Dice Tower, okay, with over 300,000 some odd followers and 22,000 videos, not in the Hall of Fame? It is a travesty. And if they are not put in this year, it is a travesty. It really is. It really is. Tom has been doing this since 2002. Richard Launius has been doing this since 1986, according to him, because I wanted to check facts. I wanted to make sure, because I wanted to check their requirements. And I'll be honest with you. This is far beyond what I could ever imagine. Okay? These guys deserve to be in there. That Dice Tower deserves in it. If Board Game Geek is in there, I'm telling you, Dice Tower should win in the same year. Okay, maybe you have a requirement of how many of this, that, and whatchamacall goes in there. I'm sorry, but Tom Vasel and the Dice Tower have done more for gaming than you imagine. This channel and this man is a cultural icon. And listen, you may agree with me, you may disagree with me, you may like him, may not like him, but you cannot take away his body of work, and it stands alone. So let's see what happens at Origins, okay? I'm really curious to see who makes it in. I think they skipped a year of the Hall of Fame because, so, we can give them a little bit of a pass here. Okay, a little bit, very little. But do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Again, these are my opinions. Doesn't really mean anything. Isn't going to change much. Nobody's going to listen to this little channel, okay? But I'll tell you this much. You know something? Even this channel, its roots start back to Tom Vasel and the Dice Tower. And I'll tell you something, if it wasn't for a conflict of interest at the time because of Cool Stuff and Miniature Market, I'd probably still be there. And if I was asked, I'd go back and do painting videos. I really would. I really would. Because you never forget where you started. And some of the wisdom that he said, and I sat there and I scratched my head, I didn't get it until later on. You're really missing something if you are not following the Dice Tower and Tom Vasel. Okay? Especially if you love games as much as I do. And thanks, it's because watching his channel and Rodney's that I got back into this and started doing this. Okay? I wanted to raise money for charity. I was very moved by things by him. And it's amazing to see how this is metamorphosed and how it does. And no matter what you throw at him, Sam leaves, hey, let's bring in Roy and Mike. Look what they did there. Okay? He knows how to change, how to make things, how to take things, how to evolve with time, to be ahead of the curve. Big mistake if they don't put him in. And if it goes by next year and he doesn't put him in, boy, we should all be screaming to the high heavens. I hope this year is their year. I really do. I guess we'll see. But I'll be really curious to see what or who could possibly go in there over those three. Okay? Tom Vasel, the Dice Tower, and Richard Launius. They deserve that award. They deserve that accolade. Let me know what you think. Of course, be very kind about it. Okay? And like I said, everybody deserves to be in there. But why aren't these three in there? And let's hope that they can get in there. And you want to know something? Write them. I did. Write Origins and say, hey, these three should be in there. Or maybe you have a name that you think should be in there. Okay? But they deserve to be in there. They deserve their moment in the Hall of Fame. There's no doubt about it. So, until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.